Hello and welcome back to my Dandelion Diaries. I wanted to share a 6-month flip through of my health planner, which is an N2 Sterling Ink common planner in the compact horizontal layout. I have consistently used this for 6 months now, and I'm making some changes in July, which I've talked about in other videos, but I just wanted to share a quick flip of this and how I've used it and how I've really enjoyed it these past 6 months. First off, this cover is by 𝗦𝘃𝗁𝗵𝗃. I will try to link it in the description. I get lots of questions about it, actually. It is lovely. This is the lemon leather, which I think she may be discontinuing. It's kind of a yellowy color. And then the back color is, I believe, green jade. She has tons of leathers to choose from. I like that her leathers are thinner and that her covers are very roomy and customizable. And yeah, I really like this cover. I also keep 2 mini sticker books in this cover. This is this holds the emoji heads from the Coffee Monsters Co. I use these in my monthly section every single day. I have a book for like the happier emotions and then one for the sadder emotions, or sadder, is that a word? More painful emotions, maybe? I don't know. Both of these are from Sticky Club, which is a sticker subscription service. You don't necessarily get one every time you order a subscription from them. It just depends. But I do think they have them for individual sale on their website as well. As for the planner itself, let me just jump straight in. So opening page, I have a year at a glance tracker here where I've been tracking my pain, down days, stomach issues, headaches, anything like that. First 6 months of the year, I feel like I did okay. I know in February and March, I really struggled with a lot more headaches, and part of me thinks that is due to seasonal allergies, and I don't know if that happens every year. So I'm going to continue this tracker in future years to see if this is a, I don't know, constant thing for me, that it happens that time of year and that's a reason for my headaches at that time. I don't know. I have chronic migraines every now and then, so I like to keep track of things. Anyways, moving on. For the blank pages, I went ahead and did a full body measurements kind of spread. So this is the 2023 end of the year measurements, and then at the end of 2024, I will go ahead and do the same thing again. I really like the simplicity of this and kind of want to implement it in future health planners for myself, just because it's fun to see the changes. I'm not necessarily on any kind of like weight loss or weight gain journey or anything like that. I just like keep track of me and myself, and yeah, that's the only purpose of that. Then there was the goal spread, which I actually did use for goals. I have referenced this throughout the months since 2024 started, and I really like this. So if I don't get a common planner for my health planner next year, or if I do something else, I will probably find a way to add a spread like this into it. It just depends on what I go with. But I've really enjoyed it, being able to reference this throughout the month to see what I need to work on, where am I excelling, where am I slacking, just kind of looking at what I need to keep up with in my day-to-day goals to make sure my yearly goals can be achieved. For the quarterly spread, I kept up with like a little review synopsis over here, top 3 things to focus on for this quarter. And then for the, I guess, tracker side, I kept track of walking, running, and lifting weights at the gym. January, I walked almost every single day, which was really cool to look back on. The only time I didn't walk was a week that it rained every single day, so I just didn't get the chance to walk outside. Then in February, I was really proud of myself because I went to the gym a lot more, which was something that is part of my goals, or is something that is part of my goals for 2024, is to get back into a regular gym routine. And then in March, I fell off because I got sick. I don't know if I got sick with something that was just going around or what, but I was out for like 2 weeks, which sucked. But I did do more of my walks still, which was really nice to see. Then for the second quarter, or these last 3 months, I did, again, really well with walking in April, and then decided I don't need to track it as often as I do because I have to walk every day to do my chores for like our chickens and ducks and stuff. So I started to track more of like intentional walks, like am I going out and physically choosing to walk, or is it just a daily occurrence. Kept the same thing over here with, you know, synopsis and then kind of like the main things to focus on for the quarter. I will say in April is when I started my training for my 10K run that I have in July, and I did really great the second half of April. And then I kind of injured myself, not so severely that I couldn't move or anything, but I just slowed down in the beginning of May and then picked back up, and that was really nice. Then at the end of May, again, there were some injuries. So I run with my boyfriend, and he actually injured himself pretty badly. So we just did very like minimal exercise to try to recover. I was still having a lot of pain in my legs, which is where my injuries were. So we just kind of took a break for a couple of weeks, and then we got back into it. And I must say, by the end of June, I felt really good about my running. Like I felt like I had improved. So that needed break, or that break was much needed. Then moving on into the monthly section, this is where I've had probably the most fun in this planner. So this is something that I tried out for the first time this year, and that is creating a mood monthly spread. Again, using those emoji stickers from the Coffee Monsters Co. I find them to be adorable and perfect, and they're great for what I want to use with this. I have consistently done this for 6 months, and it is just so fun to look back on and see the range of moods that I've had. I know this is like one mood a day kind of thing, but I kind of just take like the average mood I was feeling and put it as a sticker. It's not rocket science for me. It's just more of a fun practice. I also tracked my fasting times on here, so when I plan to have my 24-hour fast day, and then also my weight by week. So I try to have 2 24-hour fasts a month and then track my weight every Monday, just for my personal record. Again, I'm not on any kind of journey to lose weight or gain weight. I just like to keep track of myself. But I really have enjoyed putting down a fun mood sticker every single day for over 6 months now. Moving into the weekly section, this has been a consistent spread for me for 6 months. I have made minor tweaks, but overall it has stayed exactly the same. I have my workout over here on the left, and then I have my meditation time, the meals that I ate throughout the day, a fasting time tracker of when I start my day with breakfast and when I end my day with no longer eating, meal ideas, a little section for my mental health of like, how am I feeling? What was my happy moment? What was my low moment this week? And then a weekly routine at the bottom, which kind of shows, am I being consistent with things that I consider pertinent to my health journey, or just health in general. And again, I was consistent with this for like 6 months. And I must say, I am very proud of myself for keeping track of all of this and for writing it down, taking the 10 minutes a day or whatever to just keep track of it, because looking back on it is so satisfying and so, I don't know, relieving to see like everything that I've done. It's just a really cool practice that I'm really happy with. I did do a journal like this in 2023, and I really enjoyed it as well. But I don't know, again, what 2025 is going to bring, so I don't know if I'll continue this or if I'll try to merge it into another book. Right now, I'm trying to do a 1-book July challenge, so if I can fit everything from my health planner into one book with my personal home and everything else, I may not need another book. We shall see, because it definitely depends on how this month kind of turns out for me and what I decide to do in the future. But I have loved being able to look back on this and see all of the different meals I've eaten, all of the different stickers I've used, all of the different colors. It's just really fun to look at and see my journey the past 6 months in this little planner. I will say towards the end of June, I stopped using this. And that's again because I'm trying to do a 1-book July situation. So the last 2 weeks of June are technically blank. I decided to do a little synopsis of like maybe why they'd be blank if I ever re-reference this, and then just do a little collage of stickers over here on the side. But we shall see if I come back after July. But I really love this little planner a lot. Okay, moving on to the notes pages in the back. My first section of notes pages is my trackers. So I've talked about this several times on the channel. When I did the setup video of this planner, I kind of showcased how I build this from start to finish. And I do a whole year's worth of trackers at once, just because time conservation. But this is basically a giant habit tracker on this side, sleep, mood, and stress tracker are here, and then a space to track my menstrual cycle, date nights, and high vegetable intake days, and then a little note section to maybe kind of correlate why was I having all of this going on over here. Which is interesting looking back on this now, because I can see I was really low stress these days. I was having a lot of date nights and then also drinking more alcohol, which is something I don't typically do. So interesting that my stress level felt low those days. Anyways, but I've done this consistently again for 6 months. This is something that I've actually implemented for years. I really enjoy seeing this kind of data about myself, being able to correlate like how is my sleep compared to how are my eating habits over here, which is primarily what's in my habits, or things like, am I eating my fruits, vegetables? Am I eating meat, dairy, caffeine? I just like seeing how it correlates together with my own personal data. And I will say I do like data a lot. I'm not necessarily a numbers girl, but I do like to look at graphs and charts and calculate things. So maybe I am a numbers girl. I don't know. But this has been really fun and consistent to keep up with for 6 months for sure. The second section in the back that I have in my notes is the workout log. So this essentially is supposed to be a space that I write down the day and like a brief little blurb of like how my workout went. And in January, I didn't go to the gym at all. And then in February, I did really good. So remember, I kind of was tracking this again in the quarterly pages in the front so you could see like how things were moving along. So for January, again, no gym, but February, lots of pink dots, which means lots of gym. So getting to see it kind of written down this way is also really fun for me. And I can also look back and see like, okay, what did I do during that workout? Was it a good one? Was it a bad one? Maybe that's why I didn't continue working out for the month, whatever. But February and March did really good. And then April, I fell off again, primarily because I was focusing on my running training, and the same thing for May. I was really focusing on my running training for that 10K race that I have coming up. But for June, I went back and did more gym workouts, and I think that helped with my recovery too from leg injuries. So we're hopefully going to continue this in July. I will say this is not something I'm going to be transferring into my one book July because it's just too much to transfer. Then the next section is my running log. So again, like the workout log, this is mainly just a space for me to write down the date that I ran, my time, how many miles I did, my average pace, and then any notes about the run. January, I didn't run at all. I just did a bunch of walks. February was the same thing. I did one run, but the park that we went to was pretty flooded, so we couldn't do the distance that we wanted at that time. Then for March, again, didn't do any running really, but I started doing sprints apparently to get ready for training. And then for April is when training really did start, and I added in a little synopsis at the bottom of like, okay, how is my 10K training going? So like a progress report, if you will. And I do like being able to read back at this and see how my times have changed and also see how my progress has changed. So when I started my training, technically, I was at a 14-minute, 49-second pace, which I know is slow. I am a slow runner, and I totally accept that. Judge me if you will. I don't care. I'm a slow runner. But I did end up gaining time when I started to feel more injury in my legs, and then kind of shaving off time again. And then into May, which is when I did the bulk of my runs, I really was having a hard time at the beginning of May. Like my time went to 17 minutes, 16 seconds. That's how bad my legs were hurting. So I just was like, you know what? We're going to take a break and it's going to be fine. So I took a break. And then when I came back, my times went back down to 14 minutes, 14:05, I think was my fastest in May. But in June, this is like when I started implementing more of like the weight training with the running after taking 2 weeks off, and I got my time down to 13:48. So I've already broken my, I guess, PR so far in 3 months, which was really exciting. And then I'm really hopeful for July to even get that even lower. And hopefully by race day, which is the 20th, I will get down to a 12-minute pace. Kind of high goal, considering, there's not that much time left, but I feel like I can do it, and I'm really excited for the challenge. And then the last section of my notes is my media tracking, or shows in media. So I like to keep track of the different movies and TV shows I watch because I want to look back on it at a later date and see, did I actually watch that? I don't remember, and now I have a record of it. Plus, it's just kind of fun to see maybe like what moods I was in the different months, like what shows or TV or movies I were really drawn to because I was feeling some type of way. But I definitely like having a log of the different things that I have seen for the months. Even though I am trying to reduce my media consumption, this is something that I do enjoy, so I want to keep track of it while I can. And then lastly, which I think I already said, but I actually have another section. This is the recipe section of this book. So one of my goals for 2024 was to implement more cultural recipes into my life, like learn how to cook things that maybe I've never cooked before. And I did get 3 different recipes, which are technically family recipes. So we have 𝗬𝗏𝗻 de carne, which is a Colombian steak soup dish, which was really, really good in the winter. This was so fantastic. And then we also had 𝗏𝗏 con leche, which is from my boyfriend's mom, and she makes this apparently all the time, and it was absolutely delicious, and I'm really happy to have the recipe for it now. And then we also got another recipe from my boyfriend's family, and it's fresas con crema, which is basically strawberries and a sour cream sugar mixture, and it's also really, really good. I do have some salsa recipes I want to write down in here, and then also my mom's pickle recipe that I need to do my pickling for my garden, but I haven't had the chance to kind of write those down yet, but I do have plans to implement them into the back pages in this book. Whew, that was a lot of talking. Overall, I have really loved this book for 6 months. I think I will consider having another one in 2025, which I know we're only halfway through 2024, but this is kind of the season where I like to see what my options are, see what I've liked, what I didn't like, or what I didn't like, and kind of go from there. But I really like this book, and if I can get another one for 2025, I may just do the same thing all over again. I don't know. Anyways, if you have any questions about anything in this video, about this planner or the supplies I've used, or my style or how I use it or anything, just let me know down in the comments. I'm always happy to chat about health planners. I think they're really fun and they're very useful, especially if you need to go to the doctor a lot or you just like to keep track of your own health for your own personal reasons. But yeah, thanks again so much for watching, for joining me here today, and I will see you guys in the next one.